When someone goes missing, there are normally more questions than answers. But the case of Elisa Lam was different. There were disturbing videos, weird behavior, and a hotel with a dark history. It's one of the most famous missing person cases in recent years, and it all happened here. The year was 2013. Elisa Lam was a 21-year-old student from Canada. She lived in Vancouver, but was studying abroad at the University of British Columbia, and she decided to take a break from school and go to Los Angeles. On January, she checked into the Cecil Hotel downtown and was captured on CCTV camera. Over the next few days, she communicated with her family over social media. But then, everything stopped. On January, her family reported her missing to the police. By now, you probably have a lot of questions. Like, what was this strange hotel doing having a CCTV camera in the elevator? How did her family find out that she was even missing? And how do we know so much about this case? Well, let me explain. While Elisa was traveling, her father had access to her social media accounts. He said that her posts seemed fine and there were no warning signs. But when he tried to contact her, there was no response. Normally, she would reply to his messages, but this time it was radio silent. So he contacted the Canadian Embassy in LA, who got in touch with the hotel. They found Elisa's room was empty and her belongings were still inside. Her passport, wallet, and phone were all there, which indicated that she hadn't been kidnapped or taken advantage of. All of her money was also still there, which meant that she wasn't trying to run away from something. But then they searched the rest of the hotel and found nothing. This was really odd. Hotels have CCTV cameras for security purposes, but normally the footage isn't made public. In this case, though, the LAPD released the video to the media to try to gain some insight into Elisa's behavior. That's how the world got to see what she was doing in those final days. In the video, we can see her getting into the elevator and pressing several buttons, seemingly at random. She then puts her head down, looks up again, and presses the up button. Then she hides between the floor numbers and tries to make herself invisible. But when the doors open, she walks out and then back in again. Then she does something really strange. She pretends that someone else is there with her, like she's hiding from someone or protecting their identity. She then presses the buttons again and makes herself small, putting her hands together like she's praying. And then she waits for the elevator to reach her floor. And then, just like that, she disappears. Police had no idea what this meant, but they believed that it was important to share this video with the public in hopes that someone could help them figure it out. But, unfortunately, it didn't help. It only made people wonder why the police were wasting everyone's time with such a ridiculous video. Many people thought it was a hoax. But 2 weeks after the video was released, they discovered her body and everyone's opinion changed. She was found on February in a water tank on the hotel's rooftop. A guest complained that the water in the shower looked like it had blood in it, so the staff drained the tank to find her body. We don't know exactly how she got there, but we know that the tank was full at the time. She was dead for several weeks and her body had started to decompose. It's still not clear what caused her death, but the autopsy results did give us some clues. According to the coroner, she had no drugs or alcohol in her system, except for her prescription medication. It seemed that she had been struggling with mental health issues because just a month before she disappeared, she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. She also had a history of depression. So how did she end up in a water tank on the roof of a hotel? The official story is that she somehow managed to get into the elevator shaft and fell into the tank. But there are several problems with this theory. For starters, the shaft is only accessible through a door that has a keycard reader. You need a keycard to get in, and the only keycard that worked for that door belonged to the maintenance staff. Secondly, there are steel doors every 5 floors that would have prevented her from getting to the top of the building. But, according to witnesses, these doors were propped open during the day and weren't locked. Thirdly, if she fell accidentally, you would expect her to be on one of the lower floors where the shaft was narrower. But she was found on the 14th floor. which means she somehow managed to avoid the other shafts in the building and fall into the one that was empty. There are too many coincidences and unanswered questions with the accidental death scenario. Maybe she was trying to escape from her room or from someone else in the hotel. Maybe she was being chased by someone. But what we do know is that she exhibited some really strange behavior. Did she have a psychotic episode and climb into a water tank? Was she trying to hide from someone or something? Or was she being pursued by someone with bad intentions? To make matters worse, the hotel is rumored to be haunted. People think that the spirits of previous guests are trapped inside the walls. Since 1964, over 60 people have died inside the hotel. There have been mysterious deaths, suicides, stabbings, and even serial killers who have stayed there. Richard Ramirez, aka the Night Stalker, was one of the most notorious criminals who stayed at the Cecil, and it's rumored that he used the hotel as a base of operations while he committed his crimes. The hotel was also associated with a ritualistic killer named Jack Unterweger. He stayed there in the 1990s while he was in LA, and many people believe that he used the hotel to stash his victims. Even though the hotel has a dark history, it's still in operation today. It's gone through a series of renovations and rebrandings, but it seems that bad luck follows the building wherever it goes. Even the name has been changed several times. In 2011, it was called the Stay on Main. In 2014, it was renamed to the Cecil Hotel once again. And in 2019, it became the last name. But people still refer to it as the Cecil Hotel because that's where the horror stories happened. After Elisa's body was found, there was still a lot of criticism against the LAPD. Some people thought that they did a bad job investigating the case, and others thought that they jumped to conclusions when they ruled her death as an accident. Many people believed that foul play was involved, but without any concrete evidence, it was impossible to prove. Then in 2021, Netflix came along and breathed new life into this mystery. They released a documentary called Crime Scene: The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, and it brought the case to a whole new audience. But after watching the documentary, I'm left with more questions than answers. If anyone knows what really happened to Elisa, please leave a comment below, because I think we deserve some answers. It's easy to brush aside her strange behavior and just call it a mental health issue, but the facts don't add up. Too many things went wrong for this to be a simple accident. I believe that we will never know what really happened to her, but that won't stop us from talking about it. What do you think happened to Elisa Lam? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to learn more about the case, I'll link some useful resources below. Thanks for watching.